Well, good afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here with
Mike Lynn.
and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, it don't work without you guys, man. So we're still on pins and needles and waiting. You know, we heard ESPN come out last night that Jason Garrett's services were no longer going to be needed by the Cowboys. But we haven't actually heard the Cowboys say any of that. And I guess until we see him walking out of the facilities carrying a box of his stuff, maybe he's still employed by the Cowboys. Now, we heard that Jerry Jones and them got stuck in Aspen in a snowstorm or something like that, and that's why they didn't come back yesterday to have a meeting. But this is getting to be kind of crazy. I'm beginning to feel like this is a deja vu moment. When you think about Al Davis, there's so many parallels to the two of them that it's not even funny. I mean, you know, Al Davis, you know, he sued the NFL to be able to move his team and things. But you saw the NFL basically fine Jerry Jones, you know, about the whole Zeke Elliott situation. And, you know, Jerry Jones went to court with that whole situation. You know, you think about Jerry Jones being the maverick who came up with, you know, doing his own deals and stuff at the time. The NFL was like, what are you doing, Jerry? We don't do business like this. I mean, in the end, he was right, and they followed suit. But you see some of the moves that Al Davis did, you know, like playing Larry Brown. You know, Larry Brown was a part-time player. He was not a starter for the Cowboys. Just ended up being that Neil O'Donnell threw him two, you know, interceptions that literally you couldn't drop. There was nobody else around. It was like, did he think that he was wearing his team's color? He got those two, got the Super Bowl MVP, and then Al Davis, we need that guy, and signs a whole bunch of money. And the way he's reached for players like Howard Bay and, you know, Jamarcus Russell, you know, and his whole mantra of just win, baby, you know, with the deep pass. You see Jerry Jones in some of these decisions that he's making where you kind of scratch your head and say, what are you doing? And one of those would be this whole Jason Garrett situation. So, you know, there's not a lot of teams this year that have fired their coach. But you see the hot candidates that people have been thinking about and all that, they're already interviewing places, and you aren't even starting yet. And this whole delaying of stuff, delaying on getting contracts done and making decisions are hurting the bottom line, which is winning Super Bowls. But one thing at least that we can count on, at least over the last 6 years, actually two things we can count on over the last 6+ years, is Jason Garrett not getting to a Super Bowl. You can always count on that. Sadly, you can always count on that. But the other thing is that Zack Martin is always a Pro Bowl. So Zack Martin is again an All Pro again. So shout out to Zack Martin for being an All Pro. And this is actually the sad thing for the Cowboys, because we had a lot of individual performances that were really, really good this season. Lyle Collins should have been a Pro Bowler. Lyle Collins, you know, a guy who, you know, some people were ready to throw to the side of the, throw him off the boat. I'm not going to say who was saying that he couldn't do anything, but somebody was out there talking about how this guy, man, you know, I'll push him off a bridge. But he got paid, and he went out, he earned his money. He went out there and he played lights out and should have been a Pro Bowl, but he isn't. Through injuries, I will say Amari Cooper still had a good season, but I just don't think that he was ever healthy enough to really get together. But, you know, the guy had over 1,000 yards. Another guy who had a great season there is Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup, another 1,000-yard receiver, although he has a bit of drops. You know, a lot of people are like, well, maybe we should let Amari Cooper go and have him the number one. I think he benefits because of all of the pieces around him, and I don't think that he is ready to be a number one. And part of the reason why he was so effective was you also had to worry about Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb was, I believe, the 4th rated slot receiver, and that was higher, of course, than Cole Beasley. Had 768 yards, and if we could have gotten those touchdowns that were called back, he probably would have been the number 1 slot receiver in the NFL this past year. But unfortunately, when you end up 8-8 out of the playoffs and you're firing your coach, these individual performances don't really mean a whole lot. And I just hope and pray that we do finally get rid of Jason Garrett. Do you really believe he's gone now? You still don't?
No, I don't believe it.
He's like, no. Until I see his shit packed, he's like, I don't believe it. But I hope that when Jason Garrett is gone, that's not the only change that they make. The bottom line is you have to hire somebody that you trust and let them do the job. You cannot try and micromanage that person because you're going to take and make him ineffective. I don't know if Jason Garrett could be a good coach or not. I don't believe it. I don't believe that, some guys just don't have the fire in the belly or the way of getting across to people. It's not that he doesn't know that he's an idiot. It's just some people are born to lead, some people are born to follow. And I'm not sure that he is the guy to be the leader, especially under the microscope that is the Dallas Cowboys. You need a special person who doesn't give a damn about the personal accolades and being out there in front of the media. You need somebody who wants to just go in there and work and do the job. That's me. I'd rather be a grunt than the guy who's, the guy who has to, the head of the company and everything else. Let me go in and actually build some shit, okay? That's what I'm best at. I don't want to be that guy that has to be out there with the media and everything else. And that's the kind of guy that Jerry Jones needs to get. But you still need to let that guy go to work. If you want to go out, do your press, go right ahead. Just don't fuck with me when I'm dealing with my team. You know what I'm saying, Mike? Right? Does that make any sense? I still like Greg Roman a lot because I think Greg Roman is a guy who would be like Greg Roman. He's never had the limelight, the spotlight, and all that. He hasn't been, a head coach where he has been the guy and doing all the press conferences and things. I think that's a guy who literally wants to just go to work and probably would hate doing press conferences and would be happy about Jerry Jones out there running his mouth. Just let me work. So that's where we are. In the meantime, we're going to be doing our live stream tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, and hopefully we'll see you guys there. It got lively last night, and all of you new members, I'm going to go ahead and get to the post office later on after I get this wood off the back of the truck and get your shot glasses. Shots sent to you. I'm Mark Holmes with Michael Anthony Fitness, and we'll see you.